the trade, Khalen Saunders to the Jags, and Luke Fortner should have stayed in New Orleans.
Yeah.
They swap them.
And save some money in doing so.
Yeah, very little. Yeah.
Like $1 million?
I don't know.
Not
it's
even?
like $500,000, I think.
Okay, I'll take that.
Which I think feels like a bag of chips in the NFL. But
that is a bag of chips in the NFL. Yeah.
It really feels
Michigan scoffs at, even college football scoffs at that.
Yeah. So anyway, I think this is, what does this mean? What does this mean to you specific? Listen, on the Fortner front, and I know a lot of people in the chat already, they're high on Monheim, Jonah Monheim. He played really well last week.
Yeah.
Looks like he's a pretty good player. Might be a heck of a find out of USC. Might be a feather in the cap of Tony Baselli, who really should be in James Gladstone. But he looks like he's your future center. I don't think he's going to jump in there right away. It's going to be Hainsey's team because of the offense and everything else. But they might have drafted their future center. Maybe. Let's not go crazy here in August on that. But he is playing pretty well. Fortner obviously maligned by the fan base, maybe even more than the organization. I don't think they had – I mean, it's not his guy. And obviously, Liam Cohen had a relationship with Fortner. But the bottom line is he was expendable for them because they've got two centers and probably wasn't going to see a lot of playing time. So what do you make of really less that part of it and the Khalen Saunders part of it coming over at defensive tackle?
So it's interesting, Brent, because, everyone wants to say, well, Eric Armstead, that's a – and I don't get that from this trade.
Yeah.
Just because, like, Khalen Saunders, if you watched any film on him, he's predominantly a nose tackle, right? So to me, this speaks a lot more volumes to Jordan Jefferson, who, is a guy I feel like is kind of forgot about sometimes because, of Mason Smith and everything like that. But Jordan Jefferson, who was taken, pretty high in the draft as well, who was maybe like a little bit of a reach, some people want to say. I think it speaks volumes on him where he's not where they need him to be. Because if you look at Khalen Saunders, I can see him. I mean, he's a big dude, obviously. Super athlete, though, by the way. So the
terrific
dude
athlete.
Can do backflips. Well, he was a running back in high school, and he's got great feet.
Yeah.
And if you look at some of his highlights in terms of his quarterback sack production, some of his sacks have come from playing a two-gap technique where he goes to the outside and actually it's more like, playing the B gap. So it's more like he's playing three technique. So then it makes you wonder, like, okay, I mean, he's built like a nose. He's playing nose, but could he get some three technique work, in some packages? And that could be the case because I'm not going to lie. When I heard this trade go down, I go, interesting because, interior defense needs some work probably, right? I mean, we'll see what Devon Hamilton can do and you got Tyler Lacey and everything, but I know Austen Johnson that they just brought in. But besides that, it's like, well, you have Mason Smith, Eric Armstead, we have no idea what's going on. Do you plan on the depth with Mason Smith? Because that's a three technique.
Yeah.
Right? So then it kind of got me like, okay, well, I'm glad you addressed the interior, but should you have addressed more of the three technique than actually maybe some more nose? If that makes sense.
No, it does. The way you look at it, right? Jordan Jefferson would play more nose.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's his role.
But it's not a depth. So I guess let me ask you this. Do you look at this as a depth play? Rotational play? I mean, when you say depth, most spots when you say depth, you're like, hey, not going to play. Not on the defensive line, just for everybody. I mean, you want an 8-man rotation. So this guy gives you flexibility on that 8-man rotation, potentially, like you just said, depending on where you want to move him.
Yeah.
But is he just part of that rotation to keep people fresh? And does it not say as much about Devon Hamilton? It might say more about the Jordan Jeffersons of the world. And like you're saying, I think be careful. It doesn't necessarily mean, Eric Armstead and Mason Smith.
No, not at all. Just because I see this guy playing more nose than three. It's like I said. I mean, if this is like a 3-4 defense, right? And okay, this makes sense, right? This guy can compete for a starting, defensive tackle, but that's not what the defense is going to be, at least what we've seen so far. So to me, it's a depth purpose that maybe he could compete with Devon Hamilton for those starting reps, but I think this is more of a nose, and then maybe you can move him on the outside and pass rush packages. But yeah, this screams nose to me, Brent. Which once again, I think if you're going to address the interior defensive line, it would be more of the three technique because outside of Mason Smith and Tyler Lacey, we don't know what the plan's going to be yet. Because Mason Smith he didn't play against the Saints.
No,
and Eric Armstead, we still don't really know what's going on. So it's like Tyler Lacey and company until proven notice. So.
Yeah. Well, it looks like right now Mason Smith's going to get back. He's just not going to rush back. They're not going to play him until the regular season, I wouldn't think. He's going to practice a lot. And then obviously same thing with Eric Armstead. And by the way, I think we have Khalen. No.
Oh, Khalen Saunders.
Yeah, he even says, he does say it. I was like, what's he talking about in his Twitter handle? Khalen, not Khalen. He has. That's his Twitter handle.
Oh, gotcha. Sorry, Khalen.
Yeah. Bink Saunders is his Twitter name as well.
Dude is nimble, though.
He is. He's
super
fun.
Impressive.
Looks like a fun guy, too. Like some people are pulling up some tweets of old. Like he hammered the NFL, I think, back when the schedule came out for not having any like primetime games.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's 0 primetimes is bleeping insane. Wow, bro. Wow. League said, here, take y'all funky ass schedule and get the F out of my face.
I like it. It's cool too, man, because I guess in New Orleans he was part of like their leadership. I forgot what they called it. But he was like one of like the locker room leadership council dudes or whatever.
Yeah.
And like, you know, if you've seen any practice video with him and Joe Cullen, like Joe Cullen seemed to love him too in Kansas City. So I think that this is a great, we have to talk about intangibly rich. I think this guy loves the game of football. I think he's a great locker room presence. Obviously been on some Super Bowl teams, so he knows what that looks like.
Yes.
Right. And that's
couple of them.
Which is huge. So yeah, I mean, I think in depth purposes, because once again, I don't see him really competing for a starting spot at the 3. I think he's gonna fill nicely here.
Yeah, and it is Khalen Saunders, excuse me. And then I think what you just said is, you talk about raising the floor type of stuff. Like this is where that floor gets raised again. Mm-hmm. You've got a guy. I think that you just said about the Super Bowl stuff is kind of important to me, because I do remember. Now, Malik Jackson was a really good football player, but I always thought in 17, the fact that he had won a ring, Jackson didn't have a lot of guys that had won a ring.
Yeah.
And when he had got there in 16, because I think Denver had won in 15, and just like kind of that knows what it takes. Then they bring Calais over, and although Calais hadn't won a Super Bowl, it's like kind of felt like he knew what it takes when they bring people like that over. Well, take a Fred Johnson, who the Jags have, won one with Philadelphia because he was there the last few years. And now you take a guy like Saunders here that knows what it takes. And also I feel like this guy, it just looks like brings some juice to the room again. Yeah. He's another one of those guys that's going to lift that part up too. So this looks like a pretty good move. Again, you had an expendable Fortner, and you get a little help on that interior, however they're going to use him. And I do think one other note, just talking to some folks on that defensive side, we haven't seen anything yet about how they're going to use this defense. Obviously, it's one series against Pittsburgh. It's a couple of series against the Saints, but it's very vanilla stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
we haven't seen how they're going to use this at all. That's a mystery.
For sure. And I think it spoke volumes, too, that you saw some blitzes in this game, right, where they were sending 5. I think I saw one time they sent 6. Is that kind of maybe a knock on the interior presence a little bit of not getting? I'm not sure, but you did see a little more of an aggressive approach for the Saints game as opposed to the Steelers.